Hi everybody, peace, love, and prosperity. Thank you to my new subscribers, my new viewers. I appreciate you and I am grateful. Now, let's get started. Today, I want to talk about the asteroid Apophis, the Wormwood prophecy, and the recent discoveries of modern science. So let's start with the first one. First one is that they have recently discovered that asteroids, a giant asteroid apocalypse 13,000 years ago was probably witnessed by ancient humans. Okay, I hope everybody can see that. Okay. Now, what they believe is that there was possibly an asteroid that blew up in space and landed in all different parts of the Earth, and that could be responsible for something called the Younger Dryas, which is a sort of controversial idea. I have discovered remnants of an ancient civilization that looks like they were wiped out in some instantaneous event such as this. And some of the evidence I have is very profound, and I'll have to get to that in future videos, but part of it is included in my other videos. And so if you go back and look at those, you'll see some of the things that I've collected and I'm still investigating. So let's talk about the Apophis Asteroid versus the Wormwood prophecy. Now, if you think about wormwood, it's basically wood that has worms in it, but the worms are gone, but the tunnels are still there. So the Wormwood prophecy, according to Nostradamus and the Bible, it sounds to me like an asteroid that has been hollowed out and will probably be an intentional act by an extraterrestrial race, will be hurled at the Earth and as a weapon, which is a little different from the Apophis asteroid, which is coming in 2029, which I don't believe will strike the Earth in 2029, but I do believe fragments will fall as it comes through, because we can't always see what's connected to the asteroids. Some of them have their own little group of rocks and stuff. So let's get right into the signs of the Apophis asteroid and why it's so relevant. One of the things is the Bible says the moon will turn to blood. Now, when I first read that, I had no idea, because that was a long time, that there was such a thing as a blood moon. So I went ahead and Googled what is the longest blood moon this century. And here's what I found out. From a Forbes article from Jamie Carter, March 26, 2022, it says on May 15th and May 16th, 2022, we have an 84-minute flower blood moon. Or is it a blood flower? A blood flower moon, excuse me. So 84 minutes long. On July 27, 2018, we have a 1 hour and 42 minute blood flower moon. And it says in this article, it won't be topped until June 6, 2029, when there will be a 102 minute totality flower blood moon. So the year 2029 has some very interesting astrological events associated with it. In addition, over the next 7 years leading up to that, these astronomical events coincidentally fall on Jewish holidays and Jewish feasts, as we saw last year. And it says in this article it tells us a story as if God is highlighting important messages by doing eclipses on the time of Jewish feasts. Okay, now if that's not an interesting sign, then I don't know what is. And as far as the quote, the stars will fall from the sky like figs from a tree. That can be taken multiple ways. It sounds to me like missiles coming down, like a whole bunch of, which could be warfare. But also, I checked on meteor showers on 2029, and there's approximately 11, which is sort of an average amount. So it's not an extreme amount, but so maybe that's not what that means. It's questionable. It's very symbolic and very difficult. So, but that is also interesting. In addition to that, the name Apophis is literally the Egyptian god of chaos who was a snake. Literally was a snake in ancient Egyptian mythology. Now, the interesting thing about a snake, it brings up the Ouroboros, which is the ancient Egyptian magical symbol, also used in alchemy, of a snake eating its tail in a circular. Now, to me, that is a perfect symbol for shape-shifting, right? If you can eat your tail, then you have the ability to take any shape and form. So, while historians will tell us that the Ouroboros, nobody really understands what it means, I think it's perfectly clear that it means a shape-shifting, ability to shape-shift. So that's how I'm looking at that. Now, as far as a couple more things I want to tell you about Apophis. One is that last time it came through in 2013, a devastating earthquake and tsunami in the Indian Ocean occurred the day after the asteroid approached in 2013. News of the impact, not the impact of the actual asteroid, but the impact, the effects of Apophis, went unnoticed as the media reported the deadly effects of the tsunami. And in addition, this is something else I wrote, there'll be another total eclipse blood moon that year in December in 20. So there's a lot of astrological events there. And now let's get down to 666. Interestingly enough, the number of this asteroid starts with 999. It's like 99942 is the number of it. So that's an interesting coincidence. But the Bible says the number of the beast, no one can buy or sell without the number of the beast. So what does that mean? That means a universal currency, a global currency controlled by the beast. And what do we see today? Digital currency coming out. So the technology for a singular global currency is in the works already, which will fit in with this prophecy. So it says 666, only a wise man will know what this means. To me, I interpret it, first of all, as the shape of the 6 is very similar to that of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail with the open, but also it looks like something falling out of orbit, a 6, as it goes into itself. Just like the Ouroboros goes into itself, the 6 could easily be, an asteroid or something falling out of orbit. And 666 could imply that it has happened 3 times where the beast has come literally from space. So those are some of the things that I discovered about Apophis. But also important to remember, the apocalypse. The word apocalypse, everyone equates that with the end times or the end of the world. Or the word apocalypse comes from ancient Hebrew, the root meaning the unveiling, to unveil. So this is not the end of the world as much as it is the end of normalcy as we know it and a bringing on of an entire new discoveries of things that are right in front of our face. So we have a veil, we see the outline of things, but we don't see them clearly. We know something's there, but we don't see it clearly. So what will be unveiled? Extraterrestrials, reptilians, spirits. The Bible says, and the dead will come from their graves. I don't think that's literal. I think that what it says is that humans will be able to speak with the spirit realm. And this is also in conjunction with a prophecy of a woman, I hope I get the name right, I think it's Mrs. Piper or Mrs. Pippin, but she was late 1800 powerful psychic who was never ever proven to be fraudulent. And her quote is very important. It says, "After a period of great tribulation for mankind, men will know how to speak with their friends on the other side." So we are in the period of tribulation, okay? I don't think anyone wants to debate that. That seems to be fairly obvious, okay? And it's just going to keep getting worse. Now, there was a big earthquake in Mexico. I mentioned an increase in earthquakes coming up to the event of 2029. I do not believe the asteroid is going to strike us, but I do believe there will be some fragments, there will be some effects, there will be major earthquakes, tsunamis. Another interesting quote in the Bible is, "I will break them up like clay pots." That refers to nations, okay? So we are going to be a world of islands, and because the nations will be split apart, I will break them up like clay pots. So there's a lot to unpack there, but the Apophis asteroid I do not believe is going to strike the Earth, at least not this time, although there is something called the Zarkovsky effect, where it starts to speed up, and there is evidence that that is happening. So it is potential that it could strike in 2059 when it comes around again, and that's a high probability. But I believe thus far, the evidence that I have read from that book I presented last time about the alien world order mentions how asteroids were hollowed out. They were mined at first, and then they were used as ships and weapons. So very easily to believe that the Wormwood asteroid will be an asteroid that was used by reptilians, as in worms, right? Reptilian is another word for worms. And along with that, if you go back to Gnosticism, they believe that Sophia gave birth to a blind, shape-shifting worm who is the creator of the earth, of earthly things. So there is a connection there also with other religions. While I do study prophecy, I also read many different religious and spiritual texts. I've read the Bhagavad Gita, I've read the Mormon Bible, the Christian Bible. So this is not exclusively a Christian thing. It's just I find a lot of prophecy and revelations that I use. There's also the prophecy of Saint Malachi, which said that there will be 111 popes before this major shift. And we are on Pope number 111 right now, by the way. So essentially that prophecy says that will be the last pope. And there's another prophecy about the last president. And then there's also the Gene Dixon prophecy, which talked about somebody who will come and mislead nations and people. A lot of people will follow this person who will come. The Bible says, mentions somebody coming who will do great wonders in front of, and this is like the great deceiver. Now, some of the things that Revelations has to say that if you plug reptilians or extraterrestrials into this, it starts to make sense. I don't think you can read Revelations in a linear form, as in past, present, future. I think you have to read it as each paragraph is almost like its own little thing. But here's some things that refer to some things interesting, like this chapter 5, number 13. And every creature which is heaven and on the earth and under the earth. Okay? And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, as such are in the sea. Now, creatures that are under the earth. Okay, it says it right there. Now here's another one. Chapter 6, number 8. I looked and behold a pale horse, and the name of him was Death. Hades followed him. And the power is given to them over a fourth of the earth to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, and by beast of the earth. Okay, when I first read that, I go, what does that mean? The animals are just going to uprise and go crazy? That was before I knew that beasts of the earth are of the earth, and they are absolutely beast. And so, there are references here that do fit with the idea of reptilians. And earthquakes is a common theme, so those will be increasing up to 2029. I can't say that the timing will be, the one where he says, well, I'll break them up like clay pots. I don't know exactly how much, but I do know that they will be increasing up to 2029 and possibly even after, I don't know. But when that asteroid comes through, it's going to change everything that we know. And that may happen even leading up to it. Because this beast will be allowed to rule the earth, and they say is doing God's work, and so forth. And it mentions some other things like chapter 9, 19. Their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails are like serpents, having heads with which they do harm. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fallen to heaven, to earth. To him was given the key to the bottomless pit. Okay? So, a lot of these things are very closely associated with, the idea of reptilians living inside the earth. So, I would have never believed that was true until I experienced the things that I've been experiencing in the last couple of years. And now I have this strange ability now to photograph nature and rocks and things, and I can, spirits come up. I've shown some of the photographs. Okay, but real quickly, almost done. I just want to show you some of the items I found that show basically like an asteroid with like a creature on it, sort of thing. Well, anyway, let me see. Okay, I don't know how well you can see that, but this ancient civilization that I am investigating discovered, which include this tooth. See this tooth? Yeah. Apparently they worshipped this beast. So I believe that the beast is returning. I believe the Bible predicted it. I believe the Apophis Asteroid will be carrying the beast, and he will jettison off into the ocean. And this will be seen by a ship full of people, according to some images that I've been shown. Land in the ocean, and will be the beginning of the great deceiver. Mankind will be in a difficult place, and there will be a single digital currency globally. Nobody can buy or sell without the number of the beast. And so I've covered a lot here. I don't want to make the video any longer. Thank you to all my subscribers. I'm always working on studying more, learning more. If you have something to add, I appreciate it. I love the comments. I try to answer every comment, every question respectfully and honestly, as best to my ability. And so thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Peace, love, and prosperity is all you really need in life, right? So I wish you all peace, love, and prosperity. Many blessings.